สวัสดีครับคุณผู้ชมครับในโลกที่หลายธุรกิจกำลังเปลี่ยนผ่านสู่โลกดิจิทัลแบบเต็มตัวหนึ่งในธุรกิจที่หลีกเลี่ยงการปรับตัวสู่โลกดิจิทัลไม่ได้ก็คือธุรกิจหลักทรัพย์ครับวันนี้ผมโชคดีที่ได้มาคุยกับคุณบ๊อบ Wouters CEO ของบริษัทหลักทรัพย์พายหรือว่าพาย Securities ที่ให้บริการด้านการซื้อขายหลักทรัพย์รวมถึงให้คำแนะนำเรื่องของการเงินและการลงทุนครับซึ่งบริษัทแห่งนี้ต้องเผชิญกับความเปลี่ยนแปลงที่น่าท้าทาย2เรื่องแรกคือเรื่องของการ rebranding ครั้งใหญ่บริษัทแห่งนี้เดิมชื่อว่าบริษัทหลักทรัพย์คันที่กรุ๊ปจำกัดมหาชนและได้เปลี่ยนผ่านมาเป็นชื่อบริษัทหลักทรัพย์พายพร้อมกับบริการและผลิตภัณฑ์ต่างๆของพายก็ transform สู่ความเป็นดิจิทัลแพลตฟอร์มอย่างเต็มตัวส่วนอีกหนึ่งความท้าทายก็คือการเปลี่ยนจากการดำเนินธุรกิจแบบพึ่งพาทรัพยากรมนุษย์มาเป็นธุรกิจที่ขับเคลื่อนด้วยเทคโนโลยีจากการที่เราได้คุยกับ CEO ของพายผมได้ฟังคีย์เวิร์ดสำคัญครับคือความพยายามในการคงไว้ซึ่งความเป็นมนุษย์หรือว่า Digital with Human Touch ครับในโลกธุรกิจที่แม้ว่าเราจะนำเทคโนโลยีมาใช้เพื่อความสะดวกรวดเร็วและง่ายดายมากแค่ไหนแต่ว่าสิ่งสำคัญที่ขาดไม่ได้คือการให้บริการที่ยังคงต้องมอบประสบการณ์ระหว่างมนุษย์กับมนุษย์ที่เข้าอกเข้าใจกันให้กับลูกค้าและพายก็กำลังทำสิ่งเหล่านี้เช่นกันติดตามทั้งหมดได้กับรายการ Tomorrow วันนี้ครับ Good afternoon คุณบ๊อบสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
We have a casual nice conversation before the camera went on and I think we share a lot of things in common for a starter interest in football.
Yes.
And another thing is that our companies are actually facing transformation. My company, Workpoint today, now we are transforming to the digital channel now. I think you are sharing similar challenges as well. Can you tell me more about your experience the past few years?
Well, thank you. I've been involved in some digitalization, transformation and scaling up of companies in the past in multiple industries, in financial services, in insurance. And some of the key lessons that I learned there, I'm trying to apply to Pi. And I think we got great potential to unlock, the future growth of the company in a new way. But it's also challenging, as you said. I think some of the things that I learned and what I see here as well is that a transformation requires a complete new way of working. And it requires a new mindset of the people. And because it's people business and you're transforming people, the challenge is always it takes time. And how do you get people used to see the need to work differently and at the same time to let them feel comfortable in what it actually takes. So a new way of working for me is a new way that you organize yourself. It's also that you need to attract new talent that you didn't have before. So for example, what you look at it is we bring in new tech talent, developers, app designers, talking about UI, UX, something that we never did before. But if you want to build an app, those kind of talents is absolutely necessary. And how do you mix those people coming from a different industry with people that have been in the securities industry for their life, and how you get the best out of people working together.
Before we deep diving into details, can you tell me what it was before and what it's supposed to be for Pi Securities?
So we used to be called Country Group Securities, active as a securities broker since 1966 in Thailand, where we actually had the third securities brokers license that was granted by the SEC. So we've been around for a long time. People might know us as Country Group Securities, and a year ago we found that it was time for us to rebrand to Pi Securities. And the reason for that is that we saw the shift of digitalization. We saw that the traditional way of doing securities businesses, paper-based, picking up the phone, getting an order in, talking to your clients, without a lot of digital support. It hadn't really changed for many, many years. And we saw that some of the trends of digitalization, but also the way that people are getting used to use apps for their financial services. So see the rise of mobile banking in Thailand, how people got used to it in a very short period. And we saw that trend was also going to affect the way that we as a securities brokers business need to service and interact with our customers. And in that way we felt that kind of new way of working also justified to have a new name to reflect that. And that's why we came up with the name of Pi Securities. We felt that Pi was a very strong symbol reflecting what we were trying to build. And what I say is like, investing is about numbers. So Pi is a mathematical number. The same thing is about we try to help our customers to grow their wealth and their investment portfolio. So using Pi is very powerful because it's a simple symbol that everybody understands, but behind it there's a huge infinite number that it's actually representing. So we felt that the symbol pi is short and sweet and simple, and it reflects that what we try to do is that we make something very complex, namely investing, as simple as we can do.
Do you know the meaning in Thai? Pi, like rowing the boat.
Pedal, yes. Yeah.
So you are like pedaling the boat to their wealth. From my experience, I would say the changes came before we realized. Is it the same case with you?
Well, I think it doesn't come as a surprise, I would say. And I would even say that COVID-19 was a kind of a catalyst that really speed up some of the digital transformation in many, many industries, right? And if I use an example of Robinhood in the US, that really was democratizing investing in securities. And that's when during COVID, where a lot of people were at home, they couldn't do anything else, and there was no face-to-face interaction anymore. So a lot of people started to do their investments using apps like Robinhood, and that's why you saw the growth. Also because people didn't have time to go to restaurants or do something else. So they were on the telephone and they were trading a lot more than before COVID. But apart from that, I think that the availability of information and data, the complexity of global economics is asking to simplify stuff. And that's where I think you could see at other countries where e-commerce was growing, people feel more comfortable to use apps also for their financial products and financial services. So it was expected that it would come to Thailand as well.
The word that I hear a lot after our conversation is simple. And I think you have a lot of challenges making difficult things simple. And I know that it's not easy to explain simpleness. But can you tell me how you apply simpleness to your product?
Yeah, I think that's the key challenge, right? For me, it requires that you really start to rethink how you organize your processes end to end. Very often, the way that we work and the way that things have been done have accumulated over time and very often becomes complex. And if you look at it as the opportunity that digital gives to you is to make things a lot more simpler. There's no need to get, and I use this as an example, right? If you want to open an account or do something else, in real life you have to sign off 20 times. And you have to go through multiple questions, etc. Why, if you work in a digital way, you can simplify because some of the information is already available. You can upload it automatically. And in the end, you only have to do one signature instead of doing it at every page. So that also requires that the way that you've been working in the past, you need to more or less put it aside and start to think from what the opportunities are if you are starting from digital and you end up in the digital. Redesign your products in a digital way, making use of all the available information that in a face-to-face or in a real-life world is more difficult to simplify.
We have mentioned the word simple. Another keyword I think for this industry is trust.
Yes.
Because people actually transfer the money to the application. Tell me more about how important it is and how can you ensure that there is trust in Pi Securities.
Yes. I think that's one of the most important things for people. Do I trust this company to give my money or let them handle my money and my investments, right? Because it's not as doing some shopping or e-commerce. If I order a toothbrush online and it gets lost somewhere, it's not the end of the world. But if somebody messes up your financials, then it's a lot more impactful. Well, the key thing there is that, you know, as I said before, we've been around since 1966. So although we are a new name, we are a very reliable company that's been in the securities industry for many, many years, and we've been in a regulated industry. So that is ingrained in our DNA, is that we understand that we need to be very careful with the way that we manage our risks, the way that we explain to our customers what the risks for them are, that we manage our financials to have all the capital, etc. So we're regulated by the SEC for many, many years, and we are applying that robust knowledge, but we're just adding an app and a digital way of working. So effectively, we're combining the best of both worlds. A reliable company that knows what to do and how to make sure that their customers are safe, and adding an ease of use and an app to make it simpler for the customers.
Well, Kun Bob, I study marketing as well, and the thing about Thailand is that the human touch is so important. That's why like so many noodles places they call like uncle, right? Uncle and auntie, right? And people feel like they get to see the uncle actually cooking noodle for them. In your experience, tell me about comparing to maybe another markets and how important it is for people out there to feel like they are the human behind the application.
It's a very valid point, and I think it's absolutely true for the Thai market. And I think it's also different for Thailand from some of the other markets or the other countries. Other countries, people might feel a bit more comfortable to have a non-personal, digital-only experience without having a feeling or a person behind it. But I believe in Thailand it's extremely important to what we call digital with a human touch. And that comes in two ways. So one of these is the way that you interact with us, even if it's digital, it needs to have a warm feeling around it. It needs to be human, and it's not just pure robotic, so to say. And the other piece is that the people of Pi, I think, are one of our core assets. And the way that they service their customers or our customers, and they, you know, how we try to solve problems. If somebody is on the app, they run into a problem, I don't only want to have chatbots or anything else, but if they want to talk to someone to help fix the problem that they have, there's always someone on our side to help our customer. So it needs to be warm, it needs to be real people, and I think that if you get that right, that will also contribute to the trust that people will have in Pi. We're not just a robot or a machine, but we're a real company with real people that care about our customers.
I might look like someone who good at investing, but I'm actually not. Can you explain to me, like someone total new to this? Once we get to use Pi, what do we get to see? The function and how easy it is to navigate to it.
Well, thanks. So the app that we are going to launch will have simplified trading. And trading means is for the SET, so Thai stocks. We will also offer global equities, so you can buy directly stocks on the New York Stock Exchange or from Hong Kong. We're also doing funds and mutual funds, and TFX, which is the derivatives market in Thailand. So these are the four categories of assets that you can trade in through the app. And on top of that, what we offer is background data on the companies and the stocks. We are providing real-time market data, and we are also providing all the content that we have from our research departments and our gurus. So it's a lot of information in the app at the touch of a fingertip, very easy to navigate. And finally, how to make it easy to onboard as a new customer as well, is that we are using a seamless process using NDID. So it's all 100% secure, that you can have a complete digital onboarding journey that makes it easier for people to start trading with us.
So even I'm a total newbie, once I get to touch the app, I can understand it.
Well, that's what we try to build. We try to make it as simple as possible and very intuitive. Well, and the other thing what I mentioned earlier, right, is that, and if you're struggling with it, there's always someone to help you out. That's the digital with a human touch.
The next question is that what led to this change? I think one of the most important factor is the change in generational, the newer, younger people who, I mean, like, get to try and want to invest.
Yeah, I mean, look at the success of crypto, right? And specifically in Thailand, the success of Bitcup. I think that clearly illustrated that there's such a interest and need for new generations who never invested before, and I think it's very difficult to do. That if you can simplify it and you can make it very easy to do by using an app, I think that's a very clear illustration that there was a need for people to invest. And if you just look at it, it's like, a lot of people who started investing for the first time in crypto also got the sobering realization that investing also means risk and that your money can go down, right? And therefore, applying the same kind of ease of use, using an app, but then to other investment classes, other more regulated investment classes, I think that that's the best of both worlds. And we got our experience in the other investment classes like Thai equities, but also TFX and bonds, etc. And then bring that user experience to the traditional regulated asset classes. I think that can help people in Thailand who are understanding that just putting your money on a bank with low interest rates and high inflation is not going to give you the long-term wealth that you need if you want to retire. So I think it's aging society, inflation is make people more aware that they need to do investing. And they are looking for ways to do that. And if they don't have the experience, I think is the combination of our app, the content, and the fact that we really want to teach and help people in Thailand how to do investing. I think that's going to be, the key challenge that we have, and I hope that we can be successful.
When you mention the word teach, and I can say this because I'm coming from Thai educational background, and we don't actually get a good basic knowledge about investment from our school.
Yes.
What are the key things that you want to provide to customers? And I believe Pi also plan to have like academy as well. Yeah?
Yes, correct. Well, if I look at when did I learn about investing, it was something that I found interesting, and I was very fortunate that my dad had experience. So when I was 12 years old, I remember that we started talking about stocks. But I guess that there's quite a few people who didn't get it naturally from their parents, and they might be scared by what looks very complex on the outside, right? So making it simple and making it easy to digest, I think is crucial. And with all the social media around, I think that's the key thing, to reach out to people that not have the patience to sit, read a book and study for a year before they start doing it. So I think that's important. And someone who's really important in that is our own guru, Kun Kawi. And he's got a great reach. He makes it fun to learn. It's easy. You can follow him on YouTube. He's got so many social media channels that you can really learn from him in a very simple way. And I think that's one of the ways to do it. And Pi Academy is also that we're going to be investing more and partner with other partners in the field to make sure is that we have a right, simple way of getting people comfortable to start investing. And one of the things that we can do is that, with the app and with incremental changes, start off small. With us, what we do is, for example, we do fractional investment. So it doesn't mean that you have to buy 100 shares, but you can start up with a small amount, as much as money that you feel comfortable trying. So we can just take a step-by-step approach that we guide people to become more complex and more savvy investors. So it's simple, it's fun, and it's accurate, and it's very timely when you need to inform people what's going on in the market.
Back to the first topic that we want to discuss is the transformation. Simple question. So the past few years, what are the things that you feel like you get it done, and what are the next challenges?
So I would say we've been spending a lot of time and resources on building our app, where we are in the test phases. So we are gradually giving the features out to the market. And when we feel 100% secure that we are robust and it's good enough to go to the market and it meets the criteria that we have on, really having simplified stuff, we go to the market within the next couple of months. So the app will be one of the key things where people see That's going to be the proof of the pudding, right? Whether you make it simple or not. Internally, we've been really hiring a lot of new people from different industries with different talents, and the mix of that new culture with a very much stronger customer focus is what we've been doing internally in the background on transforming the way that we can support our customers. So I think it's like any organization, it's people business. So changing the culture, making them really 100% aware that we need to support our customers, and we make it easy for our customers to deal with us, together with the technology that we've built. Those two things together, I believe, is the key of any transformation.
It's fortunate for me to get to talk to you today because especially the time being right now, the economics are so volatile. How do you prepare for that?
Well, what we do together with our customers, we try to look for ways to minimize the risk for them. And one of the things by doing that is by diversification. So with our app, we are also offering access to more asset classes. For example, global equities, so you can invest in equities offshore, so you can spread the risk in which country you are investing. That's one of the things. One of the other things is that the information that we provide makes it that people are aware of what's going on, where the risks are emerging, and so they can also act faster at making investment decisions. And the third part of that is try to see if you can lower the cost. So having a cost-effective solution is also giving more return back to the customer. So by having a digital solution, we think that we in the end can come up with cost-effective solutions for our customers where they can manage their risk accordingly.
Last question on younger generation. I want to spread some advice to the younger generation on investment and financial services. What are the things that you want to suggest them regarding this issue?
Well, I think it's always a good time to start investing. I think that with aging society, higher inflation, it's very important for people to start investing because just putting your money on a savings account or a bank, that's not going to give you the money that you need long term for your retirement. So the awareness of that, I think, is increasing. We are supporting them, the people in Thailand, with training, setting up the Pi Academy, providing financial literacy, and giving them the opportunity to start investing in a simple way. I think that that's something that's crucial and that we plan to play a role as Pi, because that's what's really one of our goals, right? We want to make it simple and accessible for many people to start investing.
Thank you on behalf of all the younger generation out there.
My pleasure.
คุณผู้ชมครับจากการได้มาคุยกับคุณบ๊อบวอลเตอร์สวันนี้เนี่ยทำให้เข้าใจสโลแกนของบริษัทหลักทรัพย์พายได้เลยนะครับกับคำว่า Investing Simplified โดยเฉพาะคำหลังนะครับ Simplify การทำให้ทุกอย่างออกมาดูง่ายแต่ว่าความจริงขั้นตอนของมันเนี่ยไม่ใช่เรื่องง่ายเลยครับและเป็นความท้าทายความสนุกที่คุณบ๊อบเล่าผ่าน Tomorrow ในวันนี้ความพยายามเอาเทคโนโลยีต่างๆไม่ว่าจะเป็นบล็อกเชนเทคโนโลยี AI นะครับที่กลายเป็นเบื้องหลังที่สำคัญก่อนที่จะนำมาสู่แอปพลิเคชันที่ใช้งานง่ายของบริษัทหลักทรัพย์พายครับติดตาม Tomorrow นะครับสาระความรู้ที่เป็นประโยชน์กับโลกธุรกิจวันนี้ผมนพจักร กัตนนท์ลาไปก่อนสวัสดีครับ
สำนักข่าว Today ข่าวความรู้ดู Today